You guys want to know how to catch more fish, right? Good. Okay. Well, this video is going to be for you. So a lot of you guys might be using braided line, just straight braid, and that's great. And that's what I used to do too. But I started using a fluorocarbon leader. And I'm telling you, I started catching more fish. So now to put that fluorocarbon leader on, you either need to buy one pre-made, but usually it has a swivel on it and it won't go through your guides, and it usually can't be as long, or you tie your own. That's what this video is about, is tying the FG knot. All right, so I'm going to be breaking this up into 3 different videos because I'm going to be showing you 3 different methods on tying the FG knot. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Platinum Fishing. Today I'm going to show you 3 different methods of tying the FG knot. They're all going to be the exact same knot at the end. It's just 3 different ways to tie it. The FG knot stands for fine grip knot. It, at first, looks like a very complicated knot. And at first, for a lot of people, it can be really, really hard to tie. This knot just takes practice. Practice, practice, practice. For me, it probably took me a week of just sitting down at the table with my rod and my lines and just tying it and tying it and tying it. And it was frustrating. I was swearing, I was throwing stuff. But once I practiced and got it down, I could tie it super quick and perfect every time. And it just took a week or a few days or whatever. Some guys, you might get it in a day. Once it's tied and tightened, once you tighten the knot, the braid actually digs in to the fluorocarbon line. It's like a Chinese finger trap. And the other benefit of this knot is it's very, very, very thin. Before this knot, I was using different line-to-line knots. A lot of them are pretty good. I tried the double uni knot, the Albright knot, the Alberto knot, the blood knot, the surgeon knot. I've tried them all and I've actually used them. I've went out and I've used them, and they're all okay. But the big problem is how thick they are. They don't go through the guides as well as the FG knot. Right now, there's not another knot that I know of that is strong as the FG knot and also goes through the guides as good as the FG knot. So it is a fantastic knot, and you absolutely have to learn this knot. It makes a big difference. Check this out, guys. I want to show you a couple, just to give you an idea, a couple FG knots that I tied. Actually, on the one rod, it's going on almost 2 years I've had this knot. It's a rod, I don't use it as much, but I've used it quite a bit. And my other rod I used heavily last year for the whole season. And these FG knots are still almost perfect. So I don't know how well it's picking that up. And there's the other one there. Look how thin those are. They go right through the guides so good. I'm going to make it really easy for you guys, and I'm going to break it down step by step. And by the end of this video, you are going to know how to tie the FG knot, and with some practice too. It's going to take practice. Did I mention that? All right, guys, before we get started, I just kind of wanted to talk about why are we putting a fluorocarbon leader at the end of our braided line. There's lots of different reasons. I think the 2 main reasons are, number 1, it makes the line more invisible in the water because they're not seeing that braided line. And number 2, if you use a more abrasion resistant fluorocarbon, it's a good alternative to wire style leaders. There's lots of different types of metal leaders you can get. It's a much better way of doing it. And as I said before, I don't think I've ever lost a fish to a fluorocarbon leader, and I've caught a lot of toothy fish. So I just have kind of an example just to give you an idea for the invisibility in the water. And again, it's not completely invisible, but it's a night and day difference compared to braid. So here I'm going to put some braid in this bowl of water here. So there it is going in the water. And then here's some fluorocarbon, a piece of fluorocarbon line that I have. And you can hardly see it. That's the main reason why a lot of bass fishermen use fluorocarbon leader, is because it makes it less visible in the water. For me, I use it for both reasons. It all depends on if I'm fishing for bass, if I'm fishing for pike. It really just depends on what I'm fishing for that day. Here's some of the things you're gonna need for the FG knot. So just a pair of some kind of scissors or snips. I like these ones too because you can get it nice and close. It's like nail clippers almost. You can get it nice and close to the knot. You're gonna need a lighter. I have a barbecue starter. Anything that makes a flame will work. You're gonna need something to tie the line around when you're tightening it. You can use whatever you want. Usually I just use a couple screwdrivers. I got some weights here. Weights work really well. It grips to it nice. What I used to do was just use a pair of gloves. I just got these fishing gloves. You can wrap them around your hand, but I'll show you later. And then, of course, your line. Today, for demonstration purposes, I am using braided line. It's a Power Pro Max Quattro 50-pound test. 10-pound test diameter equivalent. So it's equivalent to the diameter of 10-pound mono. And then my fluorocarbon leader material. It's a Seagar 50-pound test as well. Now, just a quick tip, just from experience. You see how this braided line is equivalent to 10-pound diameter monofilament. Just make sure that your fluorocarbon line is bigger than 10-pound test diameter or the same. I find that if it's smaller, it just isn't going to grip as good. So just a good rule of thumb. All right, so method number 1. This is where we're going to put the line in our mouth and we're going to keep tension on the line the whole time. This is the way that I learned to tie it. I still tie it this way sometimes depending on where I am and the situation. So yeah, here we go. So you're going to take your main line. So this is coming off your rod. You're going to put it just in your teeth. You just bite it with your teeth like that. Okay, then you're going to take your fluorocarbon or whatever leader material you want to use. If you're using mono, no problem. This works the same way. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to lay the fluorocarbon over the top of the main line. You can start underneath if you want, but I like to start on top. So now the fluorocarbon's on top. What you're going to do is you're going to trick the line, bring it underneath the main line. Okay, now we're going underneath towards your rod. Oh, okay. And then up and over, just like that. And then you're going to take it the opposite way towards yourself, underneath the main line. Make sure you give yourself enough fluorocarbon here. So, you know, a good, you know, maybe 5 or 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches, I'd say. Okay, so underneath, over top, towards yourself. That's 2. Now, I usually do 24. 24 seems to work for everything. Mess around with it if you want, okay? So again, underneath, over, towards yourself, 3, underneath, 4, underneath, 5, 6, and I like to start holding on to the knot once I start getting a knot just to make sure it stays good. 7, 8, 9, 10, 23, 24. Now, at this point, what you do is you want just to hold this knot in place, or you want to tie a half hitch. So you just grab the whole knot. You can take it out of your mouth now. Okay. You want to, so you have your main line and you have your tag end. You want to do one half, actually I like to tie 2 half hitches. You can get away with 1. So 1 half hitch. Cinch it up, pull it nice and tight, and you can alternate the way you do the half hitches, so I'll go around the other way now. Oop. You got to make sure you get it over both. Okay, so that's 2 half hitches. Now we just want to make sure that this is really tight. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy tight here. Yeah, this is just so the knot doesn't come basically undone. Okay, next step is we need to tighten this. And this is why they call it a fine grip, because when you pull it, that braid is going to dig in to the fluorocarbon, okay? So what you want to do, and again, use whatever you want for this. I'm just using a couple weights because that's just what I have here. You're going to want to tie the line. I mean, you can use your hands if you want, but, you know, careful, because when you pull braid, I've done this, the braid can dig into your hands and actually cut through your hands. So this is why I do this. All right, so you want to wrap it around, and you want to make sure that you don't wrap it around itself, because if you wrap it around itself like that, now you've made a weak spot when you pull it in your line. So don't wrap around itself. Just take it, wrap it around a few times. Okay, like that. Take your fluorocarbon, wrap it around. Okay. Again, make sure not to wrap it around itself. Grab it. Grab this end, and what you want to do is you want to pull this nice and tight. And it will actually start to change color, you'll see it. And when that's done, I'm telling you, this line, this knot, we're not done tying the knot yet. There's a few things to finish it off. But right now, this knot is not much thicker than your fluorocarbon. It's fantastic. It's so small. Okay, so what you want to do now, everything's tight. Just make sure that that's tight. Just tighten that. I'm just grabbing the braid tag end and the braid main line. I'm just double checking that that's tight again. That's all good. So what you want to do now is you want to cut the fluorocarbon. So I like to, now we're going to burn the tip of it, okay? It's just an extra security you'll see when I do it. So I want to cut it, but I want to just leave just a little bit at the end. What I do is I'll wet it. Okay? Then you're gonna want to take your lighter and just get it like that and tap it. Okay? So now if it does decide to slip a little bit, that will help hold it in. It won't slip off now. Okay, so it's just another security measure for your line. So that's nice and small. Fantastic. So now what I like to do is I'll just tie another couple half hitches here. Some guys won't tie these half hitches, and that's fine, but I just do it for security reasons, just in case. You know what, if you want, you can tie a ton of half hitches. Tie 10 of them, tie 20 of them, it doesn't matter. Tie as many as you want. Okay? The half hitches are nice and small. Okay. So that's that. We're nice and tight now. So what we're going to do to finish this knot off, to make it look really nice and to make it slide through the guides the other way, is we're going to finish it off with what's called a rizzuto finish. And what the rizzuto finish is, I will show you. Okay? So what you do is you take it like you're going to do a half hitch. Okay, you go under, but then you go around again, and you're going to do this about 6 times. So go under again. So we have a double half hitch, triple half hitch, and so on. And 6. Take the tag end of your main line, your braid, and just lay it across your knot, okay? Because we're going to pull that when we're done this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take that line that you just wrapped around, and now you're going to start unwrapping it, and it's going to start tying a knot down onto the other end. Okay, and that's pretty much done there. Okay, now take that tag end that you laid across near your knot and grab the main end of the line and pull it. What that does is it makes a nice finishing knot at the end. Super clean. Just pull it nice and tight. Okay, now that's done. What I like to do is just give it another pull. You don't have to pull it super hard here, so I'm just going to wrap it around my hands for this one because I'm not going to be pulling as hard as I can. I like to just give it another pull. That is solid. That's not going anywhere. Okay, you could literally just snip your tag end of your braid, nice and close, and you're done. But sometimes it frays, and it's just not nice when it does that. So what you can do is you can tie a little knot, just an overhand knot, and get it nice and close to the end. As close as you can. Okay? So you just have a little knot like that. This is going to stop the end from fraying. I could have got a little closer, but you get the idea. So I'm just going to cut that. Okay. And now you have that, and that won't fray. That can just hang out. It's no big deal. Now some guys will burn it. You just give it a quick little burn. Just like that. Not necessary, but some guys will. But that's your FG knot. Definitely the slimmest knot that's out there right now. That goes through your guides the best. And it's also one of the strongest line-to-line knots out there. So that is method number 1. And out in the boat, I can tie that in 2 or 3 minutes now. If I went really fast and it was a race, I could probably tie it in a minute and a half. Well, there you go. You know how to tie the FG knot now. Really, it's not that complicated when you tie it a few times. You'll get the hang of it. Just keep practicing, keep at it, and you will be catching more fish, and you won't be tying the knot as often. Okay, thanks again for watching. If you learned something, found this video valuable, or enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hammer that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon too so you're notified when I have new videos. Watch for my next video on version 2 of the FG knot. Stay tuned, guys. Lots more videos coming, and when spring gets here, we'll have some fishing videos too. Thanks again. See you later.